Visit AnsonPDR.com for the largest selection for just about all your PDR tools, where you'll find hog glue and hog tabs.
Don't forget to grab your Magnatech mat, available at most PDR tool distributors.
Welcome to another exciting episode of PDR Tool Time. This is episode 233, and I am your host, Daniel Grom, along with Vince D'Alessandro and John Renstrom. Hudson's on vacay right now. Sabbatical. Yeah, he's working too hard. No, he's moving. Something like that. I forget.
Yeah.
So we got an exciting show for you tonight. We're going to talk about unconventional techniques that we are using. We're talking a little bit about tools, and a little bit, we'll talk about some Sturgis going on right now in John's backyard. And Vince is going to go explore some beaches in Florida.
Oh, yeah. And for the guy that reached out to me that's new, I don't know how the hell you reached out to me, so I can't track you down to get you back on the show. So there's too many avenues of getting a hold of us now. So email,
it is confusing.
This, that. So I looked feverishly all week for your name and your contact, but I can't find you. So reach out to me again. Sorry. All right.
That's awesome.
So Sturgis is going on big right now in your backyard.
Man.
Do you see any of it going by?
Well, I drive through Sturgis on I-90 twice a day. In the morning, it's just fine, except for the fact that they screwed up my commute. So for those of you who've not been to South Dakota, our interstate speed limit is either 75 or 80. If you go through Rapid City or Sioux Falls, it'll drop to 65 just while in town. Everywhere else is either 75 or 80.
Right.
Well, for Sturgis, they had to lower it all the way to 65. So it's got to be the most mind-numbing drive. I drive 40 miles each way.
Do they literally change the sign and it says 65?
Yeah, they're actually hinge signs so that they can flip them up and flip them down.
You're right.
Why don't you just stop and flip them over, and then you'd be good.
Oh, God. Our roads are not built for this many people. I mean,
Is it one
like
lane
being
each
in
direction?
rush hour in the city.
One lane each direction? No passing?
2 lanes.
2 lanes. Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 lanes. Now, when they redid it, they opened up space for 3, and I was like, please be 3. Please be 3.
Shoulder.
Big bunch of sissies.
You got a shoulder, huh?
Yeah, it's a wide shoulder. But no, Sturgis is going on. Single concerts nightly. You know, if you guys think what you go through to clean a car for COVID is crazy, downtown Sturgis is actually sanitizing the entire downtown every night. Every light pole, front of every building, every bench, everything that people can touch, is being sanitized nightly.
By who? Bikers?
City of Sturgis.
Oh, okay. So they're trying not to make a national, media on them saying, "Hey, look, all these
airplanes come over and they crop dust the whole town, and then helicopters come in and dry it off and spread it around." Is that right there, John?
Helicopters dry it off.
That would probably be faster than the way I understand.
That's what I would do.
So.
Well, how big is the town or the main street of Sturgis? Like a half mile, quarter mile? How long is it?
It's about, I think it's about a half mile or 3/4 of a mile now by the time you go as far as you can both directions.
Right. Okay.
Hold anything.
Okay. Just so we have a mental picture.
Yeah, Sturgis really isn't that big of a town. To put it in perspective, there's nothing on the outskirts. So once you hit the city limit signs, you're back into prairie pasture. There's 6,000 residents.
And that's it. That's 6,000 regular residents. And when the bike rally comes through, there's how many?
This year, predictions are around 250,000.
Right.
But that's spread out, honestly, through the whole Black Hills.
Right. And where does everyone stay? In motels and hotels and all that?
So tons of people rent their houses out.
Right.
Every hotel for 150 miles ups their rates.
Okay.
Between my house and I-90, it's 7 miles. There's normally 2 campgrounds. Right now, this time of the year, I think there's 8 campgrounds.
Gotcha. Okay. So wherever they can pitch a tent, pretty much.
Yep. And it's everything for about 100 miles.
Right.
Just
and where do all these motorcycle riders park their trailers?
They're everywhere. The Super 8 parking lot outside of our shop in Spearfish is Trailer City.
Right.
You would think it was Trailer Week 2020, not Bike Week.
Right. And then on top of that, like most of them say Live to Ride stickers all over their trailers, right?
Yes. So we're all talking last night as my drive home Monday night, and I'm passing a Grand Cherokee with a trailer with this giant Live to Ride metal banner riveted to the back gate of a trailer.
Live to Ride.
With his motorcycle inside.
The motorcycle's inside the trailer. Yeah. Hey, you know what a Labrador Retriever and a Harley Davidson have in common?
Oh, what?
They both like to ride in the back of a pickup.
I just imagine, that movie Wild Hogs and those type of guys.
Exactly. The Weekend Warriors.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's a spectacle to see. If you enjoy motorcycle rides, so you should honestly come out.
But they have drive.
Huh?
What's that?
Go ahead.
If you've never been on the road with 1,000 other motorcycles at one moment in time, it is pretty cool.
But they have other stuff going, don't they? Have a mountain climb, they have drag races, that kind of stuff going on.
Yep, the drag races, mountain climbing, and the flat track races also go on. There's also several hosted major rides which go through some of the most popular areas of the Black Hills. The Needles Highway, which has got all the tunnels and the heavy corners, that sort of stuff. So there's huge rides that you can join and do all of that. So yeah, there's tons of everything.
All right, so
I should have sent you a banner to throw up out on the town somewhere.
You've lived there your whole life. How many times have you gone? Never.
It's easier to say I haven't been in town, I think, for 4 years.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, by bike. Have you ever gone to Sturgis by bike and showed up?
Oh, yeah. I've ridden for years. All right. It wasn't until I started chasing hail that I couldn't.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So then you do it. Okay. I thought it was like, I grew up in the city of Chicago, and I'm the last person you want to ask where to go when you go visit Chicago, because I never did anything like, go see this and the architecture thing. I didn't do any of that stuff. So I have no idea what's good and what's bad because I grew up there. Now when I go back to visit my family.
If I go to Chicago, I want to do the Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Go to Long Beach, California, where the house is, which was about 3 miles away from where I lived.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
In Wrigley and Virginia Beach, Virginia Country Club is where that house was. So actually, I drove past it not too long ago. Took a picture of it.
Nice, sweet.
Still looks like it. So,
well, how we can tie this into PDR?
I don't know.
See as how that's our show. People ask all the time, dude, are you going to set up and do dents in Sturgis? A temporary rally vendor pass is $10,000 for the week.
So that'd be a no.
Even if you're a resident.
Yeah.
See, that's BS.
Yeah, it's temporary. But I live outside of town. If I want to do it, I would. But man, if you've not dealt with people on their motorcycles on vacation,
drunk.
So where you're doing hail, what if you put a sign out there, free motorcycle estimate?
No, it's too much of an interruption. It really is. Because they want you to do everything on the bike, and it's generally some of the worst damage, most awkward location. We'll do the fenders and that kind of stuff, not a problem. But man,
no, I just want you to hand them my card and tell them to send me the photos and send me the tank, and then I'll pay you 10% of all the tickets.
Yeah,
that's all I want you to do. Okay,
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that
our main topic.
Sure that Stephen M.E. is already into that.
Stop.
Stephen, you're cutting into Stephen Hampy's angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
so I get so many motorcycle tanks right now. I'm like, God, stop sending it to me.
Then why are you saying this?
I don't know.
You got to share the love.
I will take more Harleys. I'll gladly take fuel injected Harleys all day long. I won't say no to a fuel injected Harley.
What is it then? It's the old timers or the old ones, huh?
It's the old bikes, the BSAs, stuff like that, aluminum tanks. Those are the ones that just they can wear me down.
They suck balls.
Yep.
Sorry, did I say
Harleys are like bread and butter.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about unconventional PDR. What are some of the unusual techniques you guys are applying that you used to apply there, Vince? Do you remember how to do
it's
PDR?
been so long.
When's the last time you touched a car?
Like 2 days ago. Oh, wait, what's today?
Yeah.
Tuesday? Friday.
How'd that happen?
Well, I touched it.
I mean, take a dent out.
I gotta test some tools.
Cade, if you guys ever order tools from Anson, usually it's Cade that runs the shop and he does all the good stuff there.
Captain Cool Cade.
Captain Cool Cade. Hey, I got a good video coming out this week with Cade. I made him a star.
Sweet.
I'm going to make him internet famous.
Cool.
Anyways, he had a dent on his hood, on his F-150 on the hood, and it's been there since I got there. And we were testing out some of those Viper tails.
No.
And
Rattlesnake tails.
rattlesnake tails. Sorry, Viper skins. Rattlesnake tails. So I had to pull out the rattlesnake tail to check it out and see if it worked. And I don't know where he was, but he was happy that I fixed it, and it worked.
That's good.
Nice.
Those are, well, so we're able to talk about the rattlesnakes?
Yeah, we got a bunch of them in. They're not up on the website yet, but we've been selling them out of the shop, and I think the guys on the vans took a buttload with them. And they're the rattlesnake tails made by A1 for Anson PDR, and they're whale tails with the curve on them. And we're still running them through the trials, and some of them are really looking pretty promising.
So I've been using the rattlesnakes kind of unconventionally. I've been using them in door panels and other panels, and then quarter panels.
Same here.
Good luck with them.
Yeah, that curve really does make a big difference. You know, having that curve, it just is able to slide behind some bracing that you would probably struggle otherwise without having a curve. Curve tools are pretty nice to have. And they're super, super strong, and they're unforgiving. But then you got that handle on there, and
He's talking about the wrong tool, but go ahead.
which tool am I talking about?
You're talking about the double shots, the double bend sharp tip, or a whale tail that's called the rattlesnake tail because it's curved.
No, the curved ones.
Is it a whale tail?
No.
Yeah.
You're talking about the
You
hand
didn't give me
tools.
those. I didn't get those.
You are talking about the tequila hand tools.
Yep.
Okay.
The tequila hand tools, which are similar to the Excalibur, but take the new Gorilla Grip handle. Basically, it's got the same hub that A1 uses.
Okay, here's what I want you to do, Vince. When you send me tools, I want you to send me a little piece of paper, what they are, what they're freaking called.
Well, sometimes we're sending you
And all
tools
the
before they
stats,
even
what
hit the
they're
thing.
made of, when they're available, if I can talk about them, don't talk about them until this date. I want all the freaking stats. I want it to be like a baseball card on the back. God damn it.
Well, if you actually, when you open up your, don't you see the notes I leave you when you open up the box? It's
Yeah,
right
you
on the
leave me
front.
little love notes with little hearts and like little diagrams of like.
They were cool. They were good notes. But
John,
my wife was taking out the trash.
John,
so I didn't get it.
Well, John, what's your Indian name? Come on.
I don't remember. Like I said, my wife was cutting everything, all the cardboard and hauling out all the trash as
You
soon as
didn't
I
even
got
see
Oh,
it.
it's Pocahontas.
Pocahontas?
Pickling
Your
Hans.
Indian name?
Pocahontas?
Pickling Hans. All right. Well, okay. So the rattlesnake tails.
Hold on, back up, because I'm upset that you did not see my custom note that I left for you, John.
Yeah, I only got to see it for a second. So I
Okay,
don't
your
remember what it said.
Indian name is Big Hailstone.
The big hailstone.
So it's not Hailstone, it's Big Hailstone.
Big hailstone.
Yes.
Not
That does make
hailstones.
So
No,
Plural. He's like one.
No,
He's only got one?
stone.
you have to say it like an Indian. Big hailstone. They don't use plural.
So he's like a one baller.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Did you have an accent I didn't know about?
Well, it got hot here. Melted one.
Man, we've gone down a rabbit hole.
yeah.
We did. All right, the rattlesnake tails. Now, I've been testing them now for about a week. So here's a 1 week update.
Okay.
The two shortest ones are slaying it. We did the edges on a Ram 1500 crew cab roof today. And for those of you that are out there in hail land that do these pickups, you know that the edge of the roof where that inverted rib is, doing that outer edge just sucks. It's pretty much faster to glue pull it.
So you're talking that the outside rail, you're going behind the brace, but then you got like sunroof stuff in the way, and that curve gets you away from all that.
So it's
This
tight
isn't
to the
even-
skin,
this-
and then it opens up, basically.
Yeah, this is not even with the sunroof model. A non-sunroof model, it's the outside 1 inch, all the way down both the right and the left
Right.
side. You got the roof rail, and then that inside, and it's a very tight. The skin is very tight to the metal lip in there, and then as soon as it gets inside that metal lip, it has an inverted rib. So the rib
opens up.
goes down.
Okay.
And it's just you stick a flat whale tail in there and you will just snail trail the bottom of that rib like you wouldn't believe.
And it'll spin once it's past there. Right?
And no, because it's so tight.
Oh, it's so tight. Okay.
But these rattlesnake tails, the two shorter ones, the 3/4 and the 1.25 inch, they just right up into it
Yep.
and cleaned it up. Jesse and I were both super impressed. Now the trials are still out on the longer ones.
But you're liking the really small ones. You've been working those hard.
The two shorties, the 1.25 inch is almost equal in size to the world famous Dentcraft Pinky, everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
And then the smaller 3/4 is about the same size as the yellow handled Dentcraft.
Now, listen, all these rattlesnake tails are designed, the curve is dual action, but primarily it's to save your knuckles and to save the top of your whale tails. Anyone that has whale tails, look at the plastisol on the top. It's usually sheared off.
Mine
right?
don't have any.
Right. Yeah. Most people, it's sheared off, and same with your knuckle. Your first knuckle on your pointer finger is sheared off a skin because that's what you're freaking taking off, first layer. Maybe sometimes more than one. But that's why you have the curve. So it indexes down farther. So when you're shoving it up into a brace, you're not scraping and you're not creating snail trails and stuff like that. And you're not taking off the skin off your knuckles.
And it does, on the sunroof models, it does get your hand underneath that sunroof bracing cleanly.
That's nice. Yeah. So they're cool.
Been happy with it therefore.
They're cool. They're new. It's a new concept. Many people, were like, "Wow, man, how come they weren't like that for years?" It's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's like a no-brainer going, duh.
Yeah, it is kind of a no-brainer. Yeah. I know with me being a door dinger, I have my whale tails pre-bent to an S, so when I stick it right down the glass, it goes right to the brace and the skin. Well, this is kind of going to do the same thing. If you don't have that, you could turn that rattlesnake tail around and it'll go right to the skin first and then slide right down into the brace. Does that make sense?
I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
So, just make sure the handle is pointing out, not in. Otherwise, you're going to be fixing the dent from inside the car. So,
let's
anyways,
move on
moving on
to some unconventional techniques that we might be using.
Explain, Daniel. Unconventional techniques.
Well, personally, I don't know if you guys seen this guy's post. I think he's from Iraq, and he's producing a bunch of kind of slapper tools and dollies.
Body tools.
Yeah, body tools, basically. But if you watch his videos, he's basically hammer and dollying with these body tools and doing PDR. He's doing unconventional PDR. And I reached out. I saw a dolly that he had that had a lip on it that was curved with a lip on it. for kind of working the edge of a front fender. So I'm trying to purchase that from him. But I've been dabbling in this in a while. And so have you, Vince. I know you've been doing this with your Craftsman hammer.
Yeah.
You've been using your Craftsman hammer. And I think that's an unconventional way of doing PDR. Hammering out a dent from behind is sort of unconventional, I believe. And it's a learned technique, and it's something that I think not every PDR guy does and embraces.
That shocks me a little bit. It really does. And the reason why I say it's shocking to me is because, man, my goal when I'm door dinging, when I'm fixing big damage, is to get the meat up as fast as possible, right?
Exactly.
So if I have open, wide access, like the bottom of a bedside, in front of or behind a tire, I have my biggest, softest hammer pounding the shit out of that to get the majority of the dent out. But I'm using a soft tip on that hammer. That way I don't leave nasty high spots that could easily be knocked down.
So do you clean the backside of the panel before you start hammering it?
No, my Craftsman hammer does that for me.
Because out here, I mean, we got, 40% of our roads are gravel.
Sure.
Yeah, you probably have to do it where you're at.
But yeah. I do, to be honest with you, I do rub my hand across there just to make sure there's nothing,
rocks and stuff aren't, that you got tar and stuff holding rocks there.
Yeah.
To hammer on a rock, it's going to make a weird outie, you know.
But it's wide open. There's nothing there. So it's not like it's not like it's going to get trapped between two pieces of metal or rock or something.
No, the mud here sticks, and then the mud's always got rocks in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to clean that off.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's why I ask, is because I have to intentionally pressure wash the backsides of those panels if I'm going to be hammering the backsides.
Right.
And honestly, sometimes I'll put a light behind there and I'll look where I'm going to hammer. And it's an advantage if you have it clean and you can see where the bumps are, and you can do that.
Now, have you ever used your tap down? And I know you talked about doing this on a shop bag and motorcycle fenders, but have you ever done it on a car panel?
Oh yeah. Yeah. One of my biggest mistakes is really early into my career, I tried this technique, but I was using back then, I was just using a snap-on, steel hammer. And I tried to pound a panel with a steel hammer, and it cracked the shit out of the paint.
Yeah.
And so I immediately thought at that point, okay, you can't hammer from to the backside. For years, I thought that way. And it wasn't until I was forced into trying it again, and I did it with a Craftsman style hammer, soft tip, and heat, a combination of heat and a softer tip, and learned that, wait a second, no, you can do this. You just have to have a soft tip. That resonant of the hammer, that steel hitting the backside will crack the paint.
Yeah.
So
well, even nowadays we have like Endeavor coming out with the crown jewels, right? That's a great tip to be doing that from behind on open access.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one, what is it?
The leather tips from VIP.
Yeah, the leather tips. Yeah. And the other character over there at Revolution PDR with his the declaration and all, not the declaration. But
but they got their leather tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, the powder kegs. Yeah.
Yeah. So, those are perfect tips to be putting on a heavier blending hammer like Daniel's, what was it, 462?
144.
144 hammer that has some weight behind it, and being able to move mounds of metal quickly on open access. So, one of my big things too that's unconventional is, and even up until, 2 months ago when I moved out here, if I had a quarter panel that was caved in and stuff like that, and sometimes, like on a Mercedes or something where you have that quarter panel back in the trunk and you have a body line with a reflector there, and then, or even the dent is on the edge and it goes in below the bumper line. So it's dented down there too. And you have to bring that up. I take my shoes off and I push it out with my foot. I'll go to that body line and push it out. Some guys use, porter cables and stuff like that. I still, to this day, will take my shoes off, get in that trunk, and push it out with my feet.
Okay, that, you know what you just said, I discovered late. I would do the same thing, but I didn't take my shoes off. And one day I did take my shoes off because I wanted to feel where the dent was. I wanted to push in a very specific spot.
Yeah.
And I found that was an advantage, taking your shoes off so you can feel the dent. Yeah. You can feel where you're pushing. Yeah. And it was like pushing with your hand, but with great strength.
Yeah, much more force with your feet.
And if you've ever seen a no-arm guy that just all he has is his feet, you're like, well, yeah, it makes sense.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I've ever pushed with my foot.
Really?
Without a shoe.
Now you will.
A shoe.
Now you will.
Well, back in the day, back in the day when I first moved to California from Chicago, and I was working at Hertz and Budget at LAX, and the Lakers were winning.
Are you going to talk about that Vietnamese massage place?
No.
Where she took her shoes off and worked on your back? Don't tell that story.
No. That did happen a couple times, and she hurt me one time. But anyways, the Lakers were winning the friggin' world, or the cup, or the championship every year, right? When I first moved there in the '98. Okay. So during the party of it, they would be jumping up and down on hoods and roofs and stuff like that, right? So we had tons of caved-in roofs, tons of them. What did we do? We put the seats back, the front seats all the way back, right? We took our shoes off, and we're talking on like town cars where it was a bitch to take the headliner down because they were glued in
headliner.
Yeah. So we would just sit there, take our shoes off, and push the whole roof up with our feet, and then come back with our big fat Craftsman hammer that had a brown tip on it and blend out everything on the outside. This is back in '98. We were blending stuff out, never touching a tool to it ever.
Wow. Nice.
We're using our feet. We're just laying back in the chair in the front seat.
So the technique is to take the shoes off.
You have to take it off.
Just like your Vietnamese massage center.
Yes. They can feel the knots.
She doesn't walk on your back with shoes on.
No.
She takes her shoes off.
And she feels where the knots are with the balls of her feet.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, right. We'll go with that story.
Okay.
So, okay. That's definitely unconventional. Kicking the crap out of your dent.
Okay, it's your turn, John. You got to come up with something.
Something hail crazy.
So, we've talked about the off dolly technique, and Daniel, you can open the door with the off dolly technique. Have you ever, when you're up on those roofs, especially on the aluminum trucks, where the whale tail will just spin on you? And I don't have the extra big whale tails, like the 2.5-inch heads.
Yeah, those are big.
Anything like that. Yeah, it's just redundant. I've always just used the off dolly technique. So I stick my whale tail in there, turn it on its side, right in the center of the dent, and then I just reach out with my tap down hammer and tap the dent out.
I'm not following you. So you have the pointing side on the dent?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. That's
now you have to be careful on this, which leads to
aluminum. You did say aluminum, so okay.
Yes, okay. And on an aluminum panel, on a steel, it's never an issue.
Yeah.
I'm getting some feedback. Are you hearing that?
No, I'm perfectly fine. I'm recording, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm catching a little feedback too.
On who?
Me and Daniel and you. Actually, all three of us.
Oh, sounds perfect here. Carry on.
Okay. All right. Well, so I'm doing an F-150 roof. I've got a dent that the center of it just will not push up. So I turn it on the 90 degree, and I was laughing and joking, and I reached out and I swatted it just with my left hand, just on the panel.
Yeah.
Just being silly. I was claiming I was spanking the dent out. Well, it did. It spanked it high, and it cracked it deep. I'm like, it's the first time. I've probably done that 1,000 times, and that's the first time I've ever cracked paint doing it. But that is the care that you have to take on it. When you got that sharp hail, and it wants to spin your whale tail, I spin the whale tail on 90 degree and tap that dent out.
Now, have any of you guys ever had the Craftsman battery powered hammerhead?
I did, and I never liked it, man. I really didn't. I still have it somewhere.
I have two of them.
It's so loud, and it like vibrates my brain.
Oh yeah, no, you got to put ear protection on.
Not just ear protection, but I literally think like it's dislodging my brain from its stem. I mean, it's moving my body in a way I don't like it moved.
It has its advantages, but it is a learned skill. It took me a long time to really perfect the skill of using it.
Well, let me ask you this, because you got all those massage things.
I know. I need to try those.
You haven't tried it?
No, I haven't. I need to.
You got like 5 of them, right? Take the one that you don't like the most and use that.
I will. Yep.
So,
I don't know about. I've messed around a little bit with the concept of a power tool back behind there, but the control, that's just too important to me. You would need, for me, it would have to be a big, soft rubber ball almost on the end of it before you could do it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you could create so many tight little outies. You're going to need a Sherpa to get on top of them and pound them back.
With that Craftsman, you can overstretch a dent really easy if you're not careful.
And what tips are you using? Are you using the nylon tips that someone made
tip
back in the day?
Yeah, came off doording.com.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Yep. Still using the same. I pretty much just use the one same tip. I don't really change it or anything. But for trucks in front of the wheel well, because the metal's so thick, it's the one place I do use it.
Now, what are some other tools that you guys are seeing out there that I'm seeing the cactus ball and it's not a cactus ball. I'm not sure what he's calling it. VIP. Now,
VIP.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
Now, John,
I call it.
Yeah.
I call it the Death Star. The big one, the Death Star.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the little one, I call the Little Star.
There you go.
And we're slaying the aluminum roofs with them. I don't like them on steel, but I like them on aluminum because they take a big, sharp, nasty dent on an F-150 roof and just allow you to mash it out in a hurry.
Okay.
So I'm the opposite. I'm liking the big Death Star, if you will, and in two ways, because the bigger one, the little spikes are closer together and they're not as pronounced. They're not as sharp, and it works more like a traction ball. It almost works where you need to have non-slip, and where I'm using it mostly is on motorcycle tanks. Down low where your tip is sliding upward. Ugh. And I have a tank here now that I had problems with, and I decided to pull it out. Now I'm being super, super gentle and super, super careful with it, because you will see your pokey marks.
Yeah.
So you have to be really, really gentle with it, but it's not slipping on me. It's hooking up where I needed to hook up. And the second place that I like.
Hold on. Are you worried about what you're doing behind the tank though? Like marks?
It's raw steel generally on the inside of the tank.
Yeah,
it's just raw steel inside.
Yeah, but they do have coatings on, the
Harleys
and stuff like that.
But you look at, I've worked on so many different tanks, and you look inside those things. I've had ones that are rusty as hell, and guys are running them.
Right.
I've had the early coating tanks that Harley ran that are flaking all over the place.
Right.
And I look at the fuel filters, and there are flakes all over the fuel filter. They're still running them.
Yeah.
So I don't see where the problem is.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair enough, because you do a lot of them.
Yeah, Daniel, exactly what you said, the no slip. That's what we love about those on the big. I mean, I've talked about this all since the hail season kind of started. We're doing baseball shots, so we're not doing little dents. And you get on those F-150s, F-250 roofs with those big, sharp dents like that, and it's easy to have that tool slipping and slide. And that's where the Death Star just crushes them.
And on aluminum, it's a no-brainer, works great. Now, here's the other place that I'm finding that I'm using that little Death Star and where it's really shining when you've got a chewed up dent. So I had a dent the other day that customer brought to me. Oh yeah, my brother-in-law tried to fix this. I'm like, oh God. So I go out there and I looked at it and I go, well, I got to write you a new estimate. It's going to be higher than the one I wrote you before because he screwed it up. Right. And he had all these outies and everything. So I generally go in, try to clean it up, but I have all these little rivers going on. Right. And that little thing bridges those rivers and pushes out the rivers beautifully. It's like magic.
Yeah. And
that's where I want you to try it next time. Try it on something that's really chewed up, something ugly, and
I'm going to have to chew something up.
Where your tip just falls off those rivers, it falls in the grooves, and you can't really, it's really hard to get it into where you really want to push.
Right.
And it bridges it and pushes up on those rivers beautifully.
So we probably should add here, Daniel, you're talking about what you can do like that. My problem with using these on steel is it guarantees I have to buff.
Yes. You're leaving micro high spots or...
Yeah, you're probably going to, yes.
Now, what is it doing on like pearls and like metallics? Is it displacing the metallics and displacing the pearls?
Not on the aluminum that I've done.
No, okay.
And I stopped. I stopped after 2 steel rigs doing it, and they were both black. So, and they were both straight black. So
one of the Harleys I'm working on is pearl, or 3-stage or whatever. And
I've mashed up Harley paint too, man. I've displaced metallics on Harleys.
I did a fender a little while back.
Yep.
So it's tough, you got to play the judgment game and say, what's better,
the two evils,
the paint or the ugly dent,
Right. It's like, yeah. Gotcha. Well, cool. What else are we going to talk about on this episode? Because we're nearing the end of our time.
Where are you going on vacation?
Oh,
yeah. What's going on?
I'm going to Florida. I'm going back.
Where are you going?
I'm going back to the scene of the crime where it all started for myself and Mr. Toledo.
To Corpus Christi?
Clearwater, Florida. Corpus Christi's in Texas. Come on now.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
So
I never went to Clearwater. I kind of wish they would bring it back there.
I wish they would too, because Clearwater was the party spot, man. You were on the beach. It was more adult-like than Orlando. And I get Orlando's cool and everything and family-friendly, but if you go to Clearwater, it's kind of family-friendly, but it's more adult-friendly. It's the home of Hooters, for crying out loud.
I'm going to have to figure out where the heck... Oh, man. You'd never get a dent guy at the show.
No, we did. No,
where are you staying there? Where are you staying?
I'm staying at the Hyatt, but when myself and Toledo used to go there for MTE back in the day, we would stay at the Hilton. And we were like the only dent guys that were staying at the Hilton. Everyone else was staying at the host hotel. But we had like Party Central going on at the Hilton. The Hilton was, you walked right out onto the beach and the ocean's right there. And same with the Hyatt is you walk out and boom, the ocean. The Gulf of Mexico is right there. So I'm just looking forward to some R&R. I've been going hard the last 3 months, and the move from California to Texas, and Daniel's giving me shit about it. He's never moved more than like 20 feet from where he lived. So he has no idea how hard it is to move across the country and the planning and selling a business and all that stuff. I
just booked my trip. I'm coming to visit you in Florida.
Okay, come on out. Come on out. So... Clearwater, Florida. I'll be there. All
right.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a good time.
I'm going to do it.
Are they wearing masks? Are they maskless?
I think they're a little bit of both, but it's Pinellas County. It's Tampa. It's outside of Tampa, and I checked it out. They're not really COVIDed out like they are down in
so they're
Miami.
They're Trump based. Okay, good.
Whoa! Oddly enough, Mr. Kevin Bird, the Birdman of Tampa.
Yes.
He's always. You guys see his photos. I'm going to hang out with him while I'm there. He informed me today like the largest Trump boat rally is going on this week. So they're going to have everyone with their Trump boats out there either like tomorrow or sometime while I'm there. So if I see it, I'll take some pictures of it.
Are you scared?
Why would I be scared? I'll be at the beach, man. My feet are going to be in the sand. I'm going to be drinking some frosty. I'm going to be doing day drinking.
So yeah, day drinking.
So
we know South Dakota is the wide open land.
Yeah.
California, you're the imprisoned land. Texas. What I heard a rumor that Texas is going to like completely open up. Is that what's the word from Texas?
On what? Opening up what?
Like no longer a mask mandate, everything else.
That I have not seen that on the local news at all. They're telling everyone to wear masks, and if you walk into Anson, we want you to wear a mask because we're trying to stay in business and we don't want to get shut down by the health department. So not because we believe in all that stuff, but we just cannot get shut down. If we get shut down, this industry will be yelling at us. So Anson's one of the major suppliers of our tools, for our industry. So.
Absolutely.
We do not want that shut down.
I saw a post on Facebook today that said the governor of Texas was considering. So I was curious, what's the word on the street in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro?
Well, just like the fact that Sturgis is a cesspool, Dallas-Fort Worth area where I live is not saying anything like that. They're saying wear your mask when you're out in public and eating and all that. Now, granted, where I live, it's a little bit country. And when we go to the restaurant, we take our masks off when we sit down. Everyone does. There's some restaurants that the hosts and, people are not wearing masks, which I'm not really happy with, to be honest with you. If they're serving food, I think they should be wearing masks.
Yeah, I can see that.
It really depends on how cute she is. If she's really cute, she should not wear a mask.
Hey, it leaves more to the imagination, buddy. It leaves more to the imagination if the face is covered.
It's funny that you say that because there is a little bit of that. God, I wonder what she looks like without her mask.
All right.
Does she have a mustache under there?
Well, oddly enough, the lady that since I've been at Anson, it's been mask mandated, and our mail lady shows up every day, and she always has a mask on. And she came in the other day, and she had to go to the bathroom, and she didn't have her mask on. She had these big red ruby lips, and nothing attractive about this woman at all. But I just found it very odd that she's still putting this big red ruby lipstick on underneath her mask. And it's 100 degrees out. The
side of her mask is this lipstick mark.
It's got to be. I don't know. But you would think it'd look like a scary film with all the lipstick around her mouth. But
wow,
it caught me off guard. I'm like, oh my God, she's got lips. Put the mask back on.
I hate it when, oh my God, it's a man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that I hate. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel bad for the guys in Texas right now. I mean, it's freaking hot. It's hot. It's 100 degrees. Heat index tomorrow will be 106. That's freaking hot.
Yeah.
It's actually cooler in Florida than it is in Texas.
Wow. Yeah. Boy, that's got to be almost stifling, isn't it? When you're back there in the warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that about stifling in a mask?
Well, if you guys own a convection oven in your house, that's what Anson is like in the warehouse. Because we have tons of fans, and all it's doing is circulating hot air throughout the whole building, like you're in a convection oven. So,
my stall in McKinney never got below 91 degrees. Never.
Yeah, I believe it, man.
So you really can't wait for the new Anson building to.
Yes, walls are going up as we speak. So it's.
I haven't seen any posts. What's up?
Well, my last pictures, I'm trying to build a little bit of a drama to it, and I'm going to be starting to tease some stuff about it here. I'm going to be making some videos with the whole build process and some of the history behind Anson, which would be really cool for a lot of people that don't know. But I don't have any current pictures. My current pictures are still just a foundation. So, but I saw some drone pictures the other day, and the walls are going up.
Sweet.
Who's drone?
Christina's husband's. Graham.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Graham's got.
Yeah, he's
drone.
documenting that. He's going to give me all that, and I'm going to put together a little cool video, and it's all good in the hood.
God, I can't wait for that, man. Can you guys imagine what the open house is going to be like in a brand new building, air conditioned?
Not only that, but I mean, we're going to be having seminars. We're going to be having all sorts of awesome stuff that you guys are all going to love.
We'll have the
Whole load of
PDR
eyeballs.
museum up.
Yeah.
Hey, if any of you guys have old tools, anything with some history, you've got the story behind the history, contact me. I'm going to collect these tools, and we're going to put together a museum for Anson, and we're going to put them up on some kind of board or some kind of way of displaying these old tools and who made them, what the story is, whatever you got.
Yeah.
Contact me.
Yeah. Well, cool. Listen, guys, we got to roll on out of here. This has been a great episode.
You just want to go on vacation. We don't have to go anywhere. You're the only one who has to go anywhere.
Okay, well, I'm checking out then. Bye-bye.
He's drinking out.
He's like ready. He's got a couple drinks in him. He's good to go.
Yeah, I got my Mitchters. I always say Mitchters.
Hey, you got your baseball hat. Are you watching baseball?
Yeah, the Cubs game is on right now. I'm trying to get to the Cubs Cleveland game right now. You guys are slowing me down. I got a bottle of whiskey and the Cubs on TV.
There you go. All right, guys. You know what? I just want to say one thing to everybody. Level up your tools.
Don't do stupid stuff.
And keep it stiff.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the industry and tool-related news every week.
Mobile Tech RX, the app that helps you make more money.
Don't forget to grab your Magnatech map, available at most PDR tool distributors.